It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves. And this is episode 133. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome yet again to another episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. I am your host, Claudia Renee. I have my co-host slash executive producer slash audiovisual in the background. Have 600 in the building.
Does up. You know what it is.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Wherever it is that you're tuning into us, if you're listening to us while you're at work, cleaning, in the car, wherever it is that you're listening to us, thank you. I appreciate you. If you're watching this on the YouTube, thank you. You can see the sleigh. Listen. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. That way you get notified each and every single time we drop a new episode.
That's right. Leave a comment too.
Yes, leave a comment, guys. We appreciate the comments so much. We always see them and read them and try to respond to them as quickly as possible. So thank you to everybody who supports us. You guys are awesome.
Invite a friend.
Yes, tell a friend to listen. That way y'all can talk about the episode and things like that. I know one of my favorite things is being able to share the same favorite podcast with my brother and being able to talk about it. So yeah. I know how that is. So tell somebody to listen to the podcast. And we're gonna start the episode how we always start the episode, which is saying what we are grateful for. So this week, or at least today, I am very grateful for that my neck pain done went away because listen, when I tell you guys that your host has been going through these neck pains that like I had to change. I got a new vacuum, right? So I got a new vacuum because I thought that I was having these pains because, all right, maybe the vacuum was a little old and it was making me do too much work. All right. So then we get to the new vacuum. The new vacuum, it helped, but not that much. Then it was just like, all right, so now we need a new pillow. So the new pillow, tampoco. I was like, Lord Jesus. Okay. But you know what? We keep it moving. We're problem solvers. Okay. So I kept it moving. And I was just like, all right, so next step, I'm going to get a massager. The massager helped. It just did not take the pain away, right? But I guess after consistently, using the new pillow, using the the vacuum, the pillow, the massager, just all of those different changes that I made allowed me to wake up today with like my neck pain is probably like 75% gone, and I'm so happy about that. The only thing is that your girl is hungry as fuck because I am doing a juice cleanse and it is not fun because all I want to do is eat everything. But we here.
All I want to do is eat.
Yeah, we here. So yeah, I'm very grateful that the neck pain is gone. I wanted to give a special birthday shout out to my sister-in-law H.E.R. We normally record the podcast on Fridays, but your girl's gonna be going out of town this week. We celebrating my dog's birthday, so I'm really excited. So happy birthday to my sister-in-law. I love you so much. Many, many blessings for all of the rest of the years to come, and I cannot wait to celebrate with you, girl. When this episode drops, we gonna be lit.
That's a fact.
That is a motherfucking fact. And speaking of birthdays, I wanted to say happy motherfucking birthday to my first true love, hip hop. And you don't stop, freak, y'all. And you don't stop to the beat, y'all. And you don't stop, ayy.
Big up. We gotta do it big for hip hop, man. God damn.
Listen, all the horns. Give them all the horns, Hive. Give them all the works. Just do
like the flutes.
Just do it like how in the when there's a keyboard, like when you're playing the piano, and the person just does the whole thing. Bruh, they be doing that in compa music. Compa music is Haitian music, and they do like this thing when the piano, they go doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and when the person who does that in the song, when that happens in the song, listen, the song changes. So Hav just did that for us. So the temperature of the episode is about to turn the motherfucking up. because it is hip hop's birthday. Like I said, it is turning years old, you guys. One of the best genres, a genre that has saved my life, has saved multiple people's lives. Jay-Z actually has a line that says, I'm gonna actually pull it up. But man, I just like, let's give it up for the fucking genre.
Definitely, man. Changed my life, saves my life, like how Claudia said. What was the quote?
I don't remember exactly where it is, so I don't want to look for it and then like.
Let's quote it. Fuck it. What did he say?
It was basically like, if it wasn't for hip hop, that he would have been dead, kind of thing. Because we all know Jay-Z's history before he became a rapper and became, you know, who he was. And, you know, it wasn't going in the right path. And in one of those paths, it ends up being you're either going to go to jail, you're going to end up dead. So thank you for that. Thank you to all the artists who have been a part of hip hop, who have just left, you know, a big like influence on the culture, the ones that we have lost. You know, that's also something that I wanted to mention as well, because I feel like it's super important to know that, you know, with hip hop, it's like, it's real life. It's part of our lives. It's been around for 47 years. So, yeah, so RIP to the great ones that we've lost. Thank you to the ones that, you know, who continue to do it, who support the culture. If it wasn't for hip hop, honestly, guys, this podcast wouldn't even be here. So thank you to hip hop.
Fact.
Happy birthday, 47 years old, 47 years young, might I add. And for those of you who do not know, hip hop actually started today, and it was a party that was thrown by Cindy Campbell, which is DJ Kool Herc's sister. A lot of you, I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna give you guys a little history lesson, because I'm really hype about this. I've known this information for quite some time. I read a book it's called God Save the Queens, and it's like a book about women in hip hop, and so powerful. And one of the things that I learned was that it was actually DJ Kool Herc's sister who decided to throw the infamous party that we are celebrating today. It was her idea to start the party because she needed clothes for the new school year. So she was a hustler and entrepreneur, and in order for her to save money, she asked her brother to, you know, to DJ the party, because he at that moment was already DJing, but he wasn't DJing, he was just DJing traditionally. And it wasn't until the party that it kind of like became, you know, the hip hop culture where, you know, they just take certain parts of the beat and they break it, and you know what DJs do. I respect what they do, so I don't want to mess it up. But you know what DJs do. And she was charging at the door. I think she raised like $500. And I just want to highlight her because, man, she doesn't get enough attention. You know, I feel like they talk about DJ Kool Herc. They talk about the other pioneers that have been a part of hip hop as well. But she's just somebody that I feel like, man, it's a woman, right? If it wasn't for her, like, this party would have never started. And not to say that hip hop would have never started, but it's a woman had something to do with the beginning of this. So when people are quick to say that, you know, women don't have a place in hip hop, let's not forget. You know what I mean? Like, let's not forget that it was a beautiful black queen who started, you know, the party, because my girl was just trying to look fly for the first day of school. And I feel her because, listen, same. And a little bit more on her. She ended up becoming DJ Kool Herc's manager and was helping manage his career. I did see that, you know, some people today on social media did acknowledge her and like everything that she did. If you guys didn't know, the address, because like this is like a place that's like synonymous, like the address, like, you know, the address, it's it was, I don't know the address apparently. 1520, I know it's Sedgwick. So it's 1520 Sedgwick Ave. It was on August 11th, 1973. And listen, the time was from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. Listen, I would kill for a party like that right now. Because, listen, homies can't even be outside. So, the special guest, she's actually on the flyer. It was Coco, Cindy C, Clark K. And
most likely Clark Kent, if I'm I mean, Clark Kent. I don't know how old. Well, but I don't want to say
DJ
that.
Clark Kent.
Yeah, I don't think so. I
Can't
don't think
even
so.
talk right
Yeah,
now.
I don't think so. So Timmy T was there too,
Yeah, so it was just like a different, like everybody was just there.
and it was school still out.
Yeah, it was like a back to school jam. So like she just put it together. And man, so yeah, so shout out to them, Cool Herc and everybody else who just was a part of, the creation of what is hip hop, what it is today, and just like how much it has come, like what it has become. Like how has been saying, like, the infamous Biggie line, like, never thought the hip hop would take it this far. And I feel like it goes, when we say that, it goes in through so many different layers, because we never thought that, they never thought in 1973 that it would be what it is today in 2020. They probably didn't even think that it was going to be mainstream like how it is today. How, the number one track is a hip hop song, how our artists, rappers are billionaires right now. They have their sneaker lines, they had clothing lines, the liquor endorsements,
TV
their
shows,
businessmen,
movies,
like, you name it, like all of these different things. Some people literally just
headphones.
yeah, people just literally used hip hop as a vehicle to take them into becoming who they are today. And I think that's so beautiful. Like hip hop, like, man, one of my favorite songs. I know Talib is a little bit under hot water right now because they done took him off of Twitter and all this stuff. But one of my favorite songs,
Banned.
yeah, he's banned. Like, my dog cannot, unless he goes in and does like a little Finsta or whatnot. There's no way that he's getting back on there. But one of my favorite songs that I feel depicts hip hop so beautifully is called Beautiful by Mos Def and Talib Kweli. And I've talked about this song on the podcast before because it's just a beauty, that song. And the reason why is because the elements that it has, the way that they go back and forth in the verses, that they give or whatnot, like, it's such a we've talked about, I remember it was with Mighty Sunshine that we talked about this song, because it's like such a beautiful song. So yeah, so like, that's one of my songs that I always think of. Also, of course, I always think of The Love of My Life with Erykah Badu, which isn't a highly influenced hip hop song, but like, when I think of hip hop and my love for hip hop, like, I think of that song.
Or even the origin of where it comes from. The I Used to Love Her.
Yeah, that I Used to Love Her, which I Used to Love Her is a song about hip hop. He's referring to hip hop as a woman. And man, I'm like, I can like go on and on about all my favorite songs that, show me what hip hop is, because we can even get into like Rakim songs. We can get into like, KRS-One songs, Big Daddy Kane, De La Soul, like A Tribe Called Quest. Like, there's so many greats that we have been blessed with. And these people's lives have been changed forever. Like I said, if it wasn't for hip hop, this podcast wouldn't have ever come into fruition, because the reason why I even thought of doing this when I was younger was because I was watching, the hip hop shows, the shows that were playing the music that I liked, and the hip hop shows with the countdowns and all this stuff, and the movies and Rhapsody, and just like so many different like layers of how this has just, like, how hip hop has just changed, not just my life. I don't just speak for myself. I know Hav is here and he can speak for himself as well. Hav, what would you like to say to hip hop on its 47th birthday?
Thank you for everything that you've done. I mean, without you, I don't know where my life would be. And I am just super, super happy that this day happened, that this party happened way back when. And it all started with, a brother-sister link up. And that's something true to me. So, man, just thank you to hip hop, Lupe Fiasco. Hip hop saved my life, and that's true. And yeah, like how Claudia says, there's no worth the wait. There's no Hav. A piece of my identity is gone if there wasn't no hip hop. So thank you. And
that is a
thank you.
fact. So thank you to the pioneers, our forefathers who came before us, like I said, to all the beautiful women who who are MCs, who are TV personalities, who are radio personalities, who
curators.
curators, all of those. I say the women, but everybody who's been a part of it, like, man, this culture has just taken this music and has just transformed it into something so beautiful.
It's been everything for me. Like, it's everything.
Yeah, like it was funny because we were talking about like what we were gonna talk about, and I was like, listen, I could talk about hip hop and how grateful I am for it for like 30 minutes. So, but it's because it's just true, man. It's such a I feel like with hip hop you learn so much. Like, you learn so much about yourself. You learn so much. You learn words. You learn
Locations
that you've never been to before. We talked about this last week about, you know, how one of my favorite songs by Rick Ross is Tangerine Grease, and it's because I feel like he takes me there, you know. And that's something else that growing up, we didn't go to Atlanta. We weren't in New York. we weren't even home in California, but we were here in Miami, and we were able to almost visit those places because of hip hop, because we had so many artists from those different places that were like, yo, this is where I'm from. You know, and this is how we rap, and this is the music that we got. Another song that I have to say it because I was listening to a hip hop playlist that they had on Tidal today, and it was International Players Anthem. Like, that's
Bill Clinton song?
That song right there, like, I feel like with Bun B, Pimp C, Outkast, like, just like that whole dynamic of that, I just felt like it was so dope, man. So dope. So
and it does describe hip hop too, so
it does. It
does.
Even though, like,
well placed on that
exact.
playlist.
And then it's also because if you think about it, Andre 3000's verse is more along the lines of like, listen, I'm in love. Like, you know, like, I would do anything for her. Like, this is my decision. But then the other ones are like, you know, like, no. So you get like the different
type of MCing too.
Different type of MCing, because even though Pimp C and Bun B are in a group together, they both have very versatile, like, you know, voices.
Same thing with
Big Boy and Andre 3000. It's the same thing. So, you know, we got so many different layers of artistry in that song. So that's a really dope.
And then the sample, all that. Yeah.
It's just
every element of that song
it's
is
a
hip-hop.
it's a really good song. So
and the fact that it's a crew record too, like you're saying, like, you know,
yeah,
two groups on one song, like, that's hip hop.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. I'm just really excited because, like I said, it's hip hop's birthday. Something that I would like to say to hip hop on its birthday is thank you as well. I'm just so grateful, man. Honestly, like, hip hop is something that has brought my brother and I closer. Since we were kids, like, it was always something that we would always go to one another about, like, the music, and did you hear this song, and learn these lyrics, and you know, what's the freestyle, let's get this, right. You know, can I borrow this CD, or I took your CD, or
make sure you download the Nas album before after the Missy, because remember we did that.
Yeah, like, make sure you download this, and it was just something that would always connect us. It was also something that came into our homes. I remember being younger and, like, being afraid to play certain hip hop songs around my parents, but then eventually just, you know, being open to the genre and understanding that their kids just loved it. So yeah, so it like how Hav said, like, with DJ Kool Herc and Cindy, his sister, like, I hear that and it's just like, wow, like, it was written before it was written for me and Hav. You know, like, because, like, from the jump, it was like a brother sister type of thing. So it's only bound to happen, like, with you know, him
history
and I.
History repeats itself.
Exactly, history repeats itself. Like, we're culture shifters, and I truly believe that. So I also just want to say thank you to hip hop for just, you know, making my relationship with my sibling, like, as strong as it can be, because I just believe that your siblings are the best friends that God gives you. So if you don't treat them right, and if you don't love them, and if you don't really get to know them like, you know, how God intended you to know them, then I highly encourage you to do that. For us, we were very lucky. It was a genre that brought us together, but it was also other things as well. And it's also what has kept us going and what it is that we're doing. So, man, again, and if you don't listen to hip hop, guys, I'm sorry.
We have a couple recommendations for you. Beautiful, right, would be one.
Well, Beautiful by Mos Def and Talib Kweli. I used to love her. I would say you would have to listen to it.
And International Players, man. If you listen to those three songs and you check out, then I at least respected that you checked it out. That you checked it out for real.
There's some. The thing is that I can keep going with the songs that I would recommend. One of the ones that I would say too is "Feeling It" by Jay-Z. Just because I don't know, I think they just put that song on title, and so it's something that pops into my head. But
You love that song though.
Yeah, you know what it is.
That's Jay-Z Santa to get Grease for you.
But you know what it is too is that when I was younger, I remember in high school, because I didn't hear this when like it first dropped. Obviously, I was a lot younger when it first dropped, but I remember listening to it in high school for the first time, and one of the bars that always got me was when the tension gets too thick for my sober mind to cut through, I get the zoning. Like that bar right there, like, and that was around the time where I started smoking too, so I was just like, I feel him. Like I really fucked with it. Like I said, I wish
the pressure was getting too tense.
Yeah, the pressure. I was like, listen, I wish that I was going through what I was going through in high school right now, because it was nothing compared to what real life actually is, you guys. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so I can keep going and talking about hip hop. I was gonna say some projects and stuff like that, but I feel like that would be just too much. Yeah. And then because I'm just gonna say all my favorite ones.
Yeah, I just said those 3 songs because those are the ones we talked about. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then a movie that if you've never seen is called Brown Sugar. I highly recommend that movie. It just like.
I would say Juice too. If you're not the romantic movie type, Juice. Just because it has that DJ element, a part of it too.
You're right about that.
It's the only one that I could think of. Like, if you're not a romantic moviegoer, maybe that. I won't give you anything whack like, oh, watch Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, or like Notorious. like that's just the story of like Biggie and stuff. Oh, another thing that just
Ain't My On My Past, right?
You know how I feel about Eminem, Hav. What I was gonna say, okay, and then we'll wrap it up with this. A show that you can watch, which is actually on Netflix, is called The Get Down, and that one is not a documentary based type of show.
Loosely based.
It's loosely based on it. It
on
has certain elements that are very correct when it comes to hip hop, but it also just, it takes you back to that time when it was starting and how it was clashing with disco and like all this stuff. Also hip hop evolution. Also hip hop evolution. If you've never watched that, I highly recommend that as well. So right now the ladies are just turning the fuck up in hip hop. We spoke about WAP last week with this wet ass pussy. You know what's crazy, you guys? When we shot the episode, the video was at 24 million, and I think it went up to like 25 within. Like, we had finished the podcast, and I think I did a little bit of editing, and literally, like, when I checked again, because I watched the video again, the number was
in slow-mo?
A whole million views up.
Damn.
It might be higher now. We should check it just because,
just
for fun. Just for fun. Let's see what the fuck going on.
But congrats to Cardi.
Congrats to them. Man, there's been so much controversy as far as this song goes because, of course, these women are talking very vulgar. We spoke about, listen, they just talking their shit just like how dudes be talking about. Listen, I went to the studio on Saturday, and I had a couple drinks in my system. And
we live? Can I see?
Oh, my bad.
And we ended up talking about this. We ended up talking about this song and like all this stuff because the conversation came up about Megan and them, a certain person was saying that, they just... Did you get the number?
Yeah, 72 million.
72 million. It hasn't even been a week since it dropped. Guys, we're shooting this podcast on Tuesday. This video dropped on Friday. 72 million views so far. What's crazy is that it's the clean version. They don't say wet ass pussy. They say wet and gushy. Listen.
Moving on now.
Okay. No.
I don't like the gushy.
The gushy's a little weird because it's kind of like, what's really wrong with the pussy?
What's really going?
Well, I guess because you know how the macaroni and cheese, like, how they be doing that sound and girls be like, oh, this is how my pussy is and all this shit. Is just like, you might want to get that checked a little bit. Just saying. But yeah, so people have just been talking about it because of the vulgarity and like, these women just talking their shit just like how dudes be talking about. It's really funny because people were we had 2 Chainz and Rick Ross. Y'all heard them songs. They talking about bitches, money, fucking, sucking, all that shit. And then the next day we had like no one said anything. But then you know these beautiful women drop WAP and it's haywire. And so yeah, so I guess like, and some of the beef that some people have as well is that, you know, oh, this is what you're teaching the youth and this and that. Listen, I grew up on Little Kim, Trina, Kaya, and rappers who had like male rappers who had absolutely no filter. When like, what's your fantasy, Hav?
Luda, yeah.
Like that song right there, I was like 11, 12 years old rapping that song, and it was funny because somebody posted on Twitter saying that I grew up on these artists and I'm scared to make an OnlyFans.
I'm dead.
And that's relatable content right there, because listen, I grew up on them artists as well, and I'll be like, dang, OnlyFans, no, I'm straight. Like, yeah, I'm straight. I don't think I could do it. So yeah. So, and another thing is like at the end of the day, like your daughter is going to emulate or become the woman that you raised her to be, not what rappers are raising her to be. That's not their responsibility. I almost followed this one dude on my Instagram because he was talking about how like women like need to be more controlled, and that they need to talk about wearing condoms in songs and like all this stuff, and it's just like that's not their responsibility to tell people to wear a condom. Some people don't even like condoms.
You want a girl rapper to talk about birth control?
Exactly. So,
sorry,
and
Chief.
The thing is that the thing is what was crazy too to me is that how can you expect them to talk about that when you don't even like what they talking about, period? So if they were to throw in a condom line, what difference does it make? You know what I mean? Like, it makes no difference. Like, it doesn't, because the person who's supposed to be teaching your kids to wear a motherfucking condom and use birth control is you, not these artists. Like, it's not their responsibility to raise them. Like, yes, I learned a lot of game from the artists that I listened to growing up, but like I said, like, the principles and everything that I had came from my parents. So something that I know that we wanted to talk about was how, you know, Meg and Cardi are now like water cooler talk. People are just talking about them because of this video, of this thing. It's become so mainstream. And look at where we are, hip hop, 47 years later.
74 million views later.
74 million views later. And you can say whatever you would like about it, but at the end of the day, this falls under hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're rapping. They got the beat. They, you know, they rhyming. They rhyming some real shit. So, shout out to that. I'm gonna get into the next topic real quick because it has something to do with this video. But listen, LL Cool J and Love You Better. If you've never seen this video, he pulls up in a motherfucking limousine with flowers because he loves this girl. And I had to bring this up because, listen, Cool J used a motherfucking lie, because ain't no man show up to my house with no limousine and some flowers. I'm sorry. It was on my mind so heavy that I couldn't just let it go. I had to share it. And if you've never heard that song, man, what is in that's truth. I done fucked it up. I done just messed it up. Did you think I meant to hurt you? No. Bruh, that shit went. I actually know this song. Like, if you were to put it on, like, I would know it word for word. Word up. I promise you. So on the topic of the WAP video, we mentioned last week how they had different, you know, beautiful women in the video. They had Rosalia, they had Normani, they had Suki.
Shout out to Normani.
They had Ruby Rose. They had a couple of other people. We have in the screen Kylie Jenner on the screen, and you know, she was one of the most controversial guest appearances that they had because people felt that they could have put Saweetie, they could have put one of the City Girls, they could have put Rihanna, Rico. People felt that they could have had a beautiful black woman in there, or people were just like, we could have just had anybody on there. Like, they just didn't want her in the video. It was funny because there was even an edit where instead of Kylie, it was Viola Davis. And it's funny because Viola Davis actually reposted that video. And she was like, who did this? It was Kylie, instead of Kylie's face, it was Viola Davis. So what we're bringing this up for is because there's an actual petition going around to take out Kylie Jenner's part. And I need people to have time to do other shit, or maybe to start a petition for something else. Maybe a petition for their, business to get poppin', or a petition to maybe stop hunger, or a petition to fucking arrest the murderers of Breonna Taylor. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I know we have these petitions available, but at the end of the day, like, what are y'all really doing? Like, what is the purpose of this? Like, it's a video. Cardi posted because it was Kylie's birthday yesterday. Yeah, it was Kylie's birthday yesterday, and she made a beautiful post about Kylie and how grateful she was that she was in the video, and the impact that she's made. One of the reasons why she picked these women was because they're influential, in whatever it is that they're doing. Like, I know one of the women that have been there, she's made a lot of money on OnlyFans, and she's also an artist. So when you think about that and you put that together, like, why wouldn't you want a woman like that in the video? Like, someone powerful, someone who's getting their motherfucking money, however it is that they're getting their money, So Kylie being in the video was very controversial, like I said, but I thought it was dope. I mean, y'all know I love the Kardashians, and I've seen Kylie Jenner grow up, and seeing her, I remember when I saw her in the video, or at least because there was talks that she was going to be in the video, so I already knew that was coming. But
inside information.
Yeah, no. I just be reading shit online. Listen. Well. Yeah, I just be like, yeah, exactly. I found out that one of the jobs of a Gemini is to give like information like that, is to give the song that you should be listening to, the movie you should be watching, the show you should be watching. That's kind of like
just your homegirl you call, right?
Exactly. That's how I be describing it to people. I'm like, it's like you called me, but you did not get to talk. I mean, listen, if you talk back to me while you're listening to the podcast, because I do that all the time when I listen to my favorite podcast, I feel you. I appreciate that. Like, talk in the comments too. But yeah, so I just find it funny, like how I was saying earlier, like, you guys can be doing a lot more productive things in your time.
Get on your ambition shit.
Like, one of the things that you could be doing is reading more books on personal development, practicing self-love, and reciting your affirmations to yourself. Something that I've been recently doing is, y'all know I do the whole gratitude thing on here every episode, but something that I also have done is I have a gratitude journal where I just write 10 things that I am grateful for. It's real quick too. I don't even think it takes 5 minutes, because when you write down, today I am grateful for, today I thank God, today I this, like, being grateful for, you just write the 10 things that you're grateful for. Sometimes you end up being like, damn, well, I need to write more because I'm just so grateful. That's something that you should really practice.
That's probably really fulfilling too.
It is very fulfilling, because I look back at it and I'm just kind of like, wow, like, I be tripping sometimes, like, I just be tripping sometimes, because like, I was very, very hurt about my neck and how it was hurting, but I had to also be grateful for my body, that even though that my neck was in pain, I was able to move around still. I was able to still walk. I was able to do the things that I needed to do, even with this pain. It didn't matter. It was, it was there. And something else that is pretty dope that you guys can be doing instead of signing a petition about taking someone off of a music video is, learning something new. Like, learning something new, creating something. Like, I know that this quarantine has been so weird for a lot of us, because so many different things have moved, but something that I want you guys also to remember is to be kind to yourself. Like, be really kind to yourself, and just like you sometimes have to treat yourself like a child. How when a child gets hurt, you're like, oh no, it's okay, nothing happened, nothing this, nothing that. And that's why we have so much childhood trauma, because they tell us that we need to suppress it. Listen.
Yeah, we push the button there, Claudia.
Yeah, man, like, cause it's the truth. Like, they tell you, like, oh no, you're strong, like, or no, it's okay, you don't need to cry, or you're a big girl, you need to cry. And it's just kind of like, as an adult, you need to be kind to yourself. Like, if you cry, it's okay. If you feel the pain, it's okay. If you feel like you need to grow in a certain area of your life, it's okay. Something that I've been really dealing with this past quarantine is procrastination, or even wasting time. Since we're in quarantine, I believe I have all the time in the motherfucking world. I'm like, I got next week. And in fact, I do have next week, but I don't know if I'm going to live next week. And also, why am I not using the time that's being given to me right now anyway? One of the reasons why I gave up smoking was because I felt like it's just for a month, guys. I felt like
a break. Yes,
it was a break. It was a break. It's a break.
Sounded cute when you said it.
Yeah, it's a break from smoking, and it's because I just felt like a lot of the times, like, it would be like, all right, I'm gonna clean, but I gotta smoke first, and then I would take little breaks in between the cleaning to smoke, and I would something to smoke. It all had to do with smoking, so I felt like that was just not productive. Mentally, physically, I just needed to change something. I also felt like that's why I wasn't sleeping either, how, because I felt like your girl was going through some withdrawals. I was like, guys, and also, if you decide that you want to quit smoking or whatnot, I believe that you can do it. The main reason why I decided to do it wasn't just because I felt like I was wasting time. I felt like I needed to strengthen my relationship with God. Not that he doesn't like that I smoke. He knows I smoke, because listen, he's still working on me. But I had to let something go that was feeding my ego. And that was something that was feeding my ego, because when I smoke, I'm like, oh, I'm another bitch when I smoke. Y'all see me when I be high on the podcast. And I'm just being real and very transparent with you guys, because I just want this podcast, like, yeah, we talk about hip hop. We talked a lot about hip hop last week, and it was beautiful, and I love it. And we talk about so many different things, but I also want y'all to remember that it is the ambition of our podcast, and this is something that is personal development. It's like, I want you guys to learn something when you guys leave this podcast. And so, like, one of them is just kind of like, yeah, like, it's okay to feel all the feels. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to feel like you have all the time in the world, but then at the same time feel like you haven't done anything with your time. No one has given us a manual on how to deal with what it is that we're dealing with right now. So just be kind to yourself, guys. That's all I can say. Is just be kind to yourself. Please. Because the world is already harsh on us. Mm-hmm. So
people are already doing enough of that for you. So you need to stop doing it. And
exactly.
Also be grateful, like Claudia's saying. Get some perspective. And yeah, maybe if there is something that you could give up, or that you feel that's stopping, or maybe you're giving too much attention to, just fall back on it. And just watch how, things change. Mm-hmm. Just watch. It's kind of like the blessings just come pouring in. And it can be anything, because I gave up something else I'm not sharing, but I gave up something else, and that has also helped as well. So just focus, Mm-hmm. Don't be so hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Something that just popped into my mind is because there's things that sometimes, like, just something pops into my mind. I was thinking about the WAP video again, and they actually made a WAP video that is it's Kanye's face and Trump's face instead of Meg and Cardi's, and I thought that was hilarious. That's kind of crazy. That's another thing. Like, you got that much time to do a video like that, but you can't do something to better yourself. You just worried about going viral, but you ain't worried about, being a good parent,
righteous, being a good parent, being a better daughter, being a better person, being, the person that God, the universe, whoever put you on this earth to be. Gotta stop giving into these dumb things sometimes. And I know that some of us, we give into these, because I do too. Like, I think it's funny. I like it. It's entertainment. But at the end of the day, like, it's not making me better. It's not making the brand better. It's not making nothing better. It's just a good little laugh. And, and then I bring it to the podcast because, hey, why should I be the only one laughing? And then you guys probably haven't seen it either, so maybe you should. Mm-hmm. Someone else that has just had a lot of time on their hands and has been going back and forth with one of my favorite basketball players, who also happens to be a rapper, is Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless and Damian Lillard have been going through a little tuffle, if you will. Damian Lillard, first of all, dropped about like 50 plus points on the Mavericks' ass right before we started the podcast.
Yeah, area, stand up, man.
My guy dropped bombs on the Mavericks. It was a really close game. It was 133 to 131. I never said that his team was my favorite. I was just saying he's one of my favorite players. So I like watching him, and I like, I like following what he's doing. Really quickly, just to touch on what they're kind of like beefing about. Supposedly Skip and him had a phone conversation, and Skip said a couple of things, and Damien brought it up, and Skip said that he never said that. And so even today, like, Skip was just like, today I have my response to Damian Lillard. But what Skip don't know is that Damian Lillard got bars, and he'll drop them on his dumb ass. So if y'all see if y'all see a Skip Bayless diss track come up, listen, know where you heard it first. Right here on the Ambition Hour podcast, because listen, what I did, the main reason why I wanted to bring this up was not just to highlight that, but I also wanted to highlight the fact that as media people, and as even like the sports commentators, and like what the job that Skip Bayless and like Stephen A. Smith, Carrie Champion, we have Taylor Rooks, and Shan Sharp. There's just so many people who have just done great things as far as the media goes, and
Michael Wilbon. Sorry, I love him.
Exactly. Yes, Michael Wilbon. Oh my God. And R.I.P. to Stuart Scott. Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah,
it's
and
been like 5 years.
just like these people, they have just done so much, and it's funny because everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but sometimes these athletes, they fight back. They're not gonna hold their tongue, especially when you're from the Bay Area. Like, shit ain't sweet around here, homie, and that's what happened with Damien. So
but if you push, you got to be able to get pushed back.
Exactly. And then I feel like yeah, it is their job. It's part of the job. When you're an athlete, you're going to be judged. You're going to be talked about. They're going to talk shit about you. They're going to say that, your jumper is whack. They're going to say that, oh, the only reason why he made this amount of points was because I got him mad. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm pretty sure, I haven't seen Twitter yet, but I'm pretty sure, like, Skip is feeling that type of way. Like, oh, I got him mad. So, listen, mad or happy, I'm pretty sure Dame was gonna drop that many bombs, because he's a beast, bruh. Like, if you've never seen him play, or you don't know who I'm talking about, like, and you're not into basketball like that, like, I do recommend it. Like, basketball is back. I haven't been watching it because I just don't
TV.
Yeah, like, I don't watch cable TV like that either. Like, I don't even got cable in my room. So if I gotta go to the living room now, like, I'm not doing all that. So yeah, so it's just so many different things. What I wanted to bring up too is baseball. Have you seen a baseball game, Huv? My dad,
no.
My dad, yeah, I didn't either.
Sorry.
My dad likes to watch baseball because that's one of his favorite sports, of course, and obviously he's a ESPN man. So
and he's our dad.
Yeah, and he's our dad. So what else is he gonna watch? Like and so I was watching the games, and it was weird because they have it like how they have the basketball games with like the cardboard cutouts. But the thing is that with the basketball games, since where they have it, it's not a big space. So it doesn't look ridiculous like the baseball games do, because with the baseball games, it's like only the first couple of rows of the, what is it? Is it a stadium? A ballpark.
A ballpark, yeah.
Yeah,
it could be a stadium.
Yeah, the first rows like of the stadium, they have like the cardboard boxes, but then it's just like sections of empty ass seats. And that's just trippy. It's just like, don't nobody want to see y'all practice.
It looked like a real life Marlin game. I mean,
it's funny because I've been to a Marlins game, but the Marlins game that I went to was against the Dodgers, and we were in the section where the Dodgers fans were, because my uncle was part of like a traveling,
man, because of Cali, fool,
fan club.
West Side in this bitch.
Exactly. But yeah, so they're like part of like a traveling fan group,
cult.
Yeah, of the Dodgers. So we were in that area, and that area was popping. I had a great time.
Live
it
in
was
that bitch.
So much fun. But yeah, so yeah, I just felt like it was really funny seeing that. And I have yet to see the basketball games. I've only seen like behind the scenes things because of Taylor Rooks. If you guys don't know who Taylor Rooks is, she's been doing a lot of real cool things. She's with Bleacher Report. and she does like a vlog because she's in the bubble right now. She was a week that she couldn't leave her room for nothing. She's giving you guys a lot of like behind the scenes, and something that I feel that doesn't get talked about enough is, you know, women, particularly black women in sports, they don't get the respect that they deserve, as far as, because number one, their body, you know, people are going to say something because they look good, you know,
or the other way around. Unfortunately,
that they don't have it, that they don't have the body, like, oh, she's on TV and she look like that. I feel that. But yeah, so I wanted to highlight that because I feel like it's important, and it also, it unfortunately, it that trickles down to other areas in media as well. You know, if a woman doesn't look a certain way, if she's not a certain height, if she's not a certain something, or if she looks good, they think that she's a hoe. So I'm sure that's something that she's going through, especially now that she's in the bubble. And if you don't know who she is, this girl could be a model. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how beautiful she is. And she could be a thick model because shouty thick too. my dog got body. So I can just imagine like how it was in the beginning for her, you know, having the body that she has and being beautiful. And even like Carrie Champion, like if you think about like if we I'm only highlighting certain women because these are women that I actually look up to, because I always liked that. I always wanted to talk about sports. I wanted to, you know, it was when I was younger, I wanted to have my own it was a sports show, right? So check out the sports show that I was going to come out with. It was going to be a sports show. It was going to be basketball players mainly because that's who I really know. It was going to be me and the basketball players. They were going to come on the show. They were going to be my homies. And we would just talk about music, talk about basketball, you know, talk about stuff. It was basically the Ambition Hour podcast, but with basketball players. And which can still happen. Basketball players. If you want to come on the Ambition Hour podcast, speak to my management. Just kidding. You can email us though. The Ambition Hour podcast at gmail.com. Hey. And yeah, so I can just imagine like how it is for these women that are in there. I feel it because even myself, I go through that shit too. So shout out to everybody who's out there in the bubble. Yeah, man.
That's a fact.
It's all there. It's all there. How much more time do we have? Please let me know the time. Last week, guys, we gave you an hour and 10 minutes. Listen,
like another 15.
We haven't given you guys something like that in a minute, like 110. I remember the times that we would give you guys a 130 episode, like a 120. Those are good. We are also trying to put up more clips for you guys. That way, if you don't catch the whole episode, you can catch the clip and, you know, catch up on that. We went to the studio this week. I was so happy to go to the studio, guys. There's some times where like I just need to be in a room full of creatives, loud ass speakers, you know, what I used to envision. Listen, 12-year-old Claudia, I've said this many times before, 12-year-old Claudia is very happy with how 31-year-old Claudia is living. So shout out to that. So yeah, the studio was really dope, and just to like be in that atmosphere is just always dope for me. We have a home studio, but it's just different when you're in a studio with the engineer and with the booth and just the vibe and the liquor and the like, you know what I mean? It's just like the vibrations, like it's just different. So shout out to everybody who has to go to the studio and record something, because I see it and I'm kind of like we also got blessed by a visit from one of the beautiful the first lady of WTW Records. We had beautiful Detta in the building the other day here. She's been on the podcast 2 times. She's been on the podcast 2 times, so you guys who have been like OG listeners maybe are familiar with her. And we got some pictures, because, you know, artists need pictures. Guys, listen, artists, you need pictures. People need to see you. People need to become familiar with your face. They need to know what's what, you feel me? So it was really good to have her here. Her and I all came up with a song. I just gave one bar, you know, just one thing. It wasn't that crazy, but
don't discredit yourself, girl.
I contributed. I just made up words.
Claudia's still asking me to send the email for her percentages and shit.
It's because I love songs about fucking. So So I just gave a suggestion. When the song drops, y'all know you might know what bar it contributed to.
I'm dead.
You might know what bar it contributed to, but it's because I like R&B artists like Summer Walker, and these women talk about that. You know, they talk about, you know, blowing back out and, you know, different things, and, you know, what he gonna do to me, what I'm gonna do to him. I like that. But yeah, so shout out to beautiful Detta. I love her, and it was very nice to have her here. And to close out today's episode, we're gonna talk about a little flirting action that be going on.
That's not flirting.
So, the reason why we're bringing this up is because online dating, we've talked about it here before. We talked about online dating. We've talked about, you know, dating in general. But something that we haven't talked about is maybe like the online flirting. How that can...
how the retweet can mean a little bit more.
How a retweet can mean a little bit more. Or a little comment, a little tweet, you know,
a story comment.
You know what's funny is that there's this one. Okay, so I'm not okay. So I got a story. Okay, so
allegedly.
Okay, no. This is completely different. I'm not even gonna tell them that juice. Well, okay. So there's this one dude who follows me on Instagram, right? And he is always like, I can almost bet which story he's gonna comment on. Like today, I posted this one specific video, and of course, boom, right in my DMs. And it's funny because a lot of the times I don't respond to these, or because the thing is that like if I'm not interested, like I'm just not gonna entertain it. And guys, fellas and ladies, this is something that we all need to really understand, is that if they're not engaging, if the person that, you know, you're low-key flirting with isn't engaging back or whatever, might be time to let it go. But there's some people out there that are very persistent, and I feel you, because listen, persistence can get you very far. I'm very persistent, and I got 133 episodes, so you see that, right? Yeah. Give me something, Hav. Let them know I'm talking about shit right now.
Get that shit off, bro.
But yeah, so like with the whole online flirting, like I see that, and it's like, it's just funny to me how sometimes it actually works. I was it worked.
It'd be working sometimes.
Worked.
Oh, it worked. Confirmation.
Now at homeboy, somebody else.
Oh, right. Don't get it fucked up.
Let's not.
Not Buddy, who's always you could calculate what he's gonna comment on.
Yeah, no, it's funny because some people would do it like in the actual post in that too.
All right.
And I feel like it's like the new age, you know. It's just like how online dating is, you know, something new age. It's also like you might meet your soulmate on Twitter. You might meet your soulmate on Instagram. Some people got married, got kids on Facebook, off of MySpace, you know. So
off of Tinder.
a little online flirting never hurt nobody.
I know a couple that met on Tinder and they have a house together right now.
Really?
Yeah. I
would like to talk to them. What were their bios?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Because that has something to do with it. If you don't know, if in online dating and those apps, you have to have like a bio, and it's kind of like it can't just be like the same bio that you have like on your Instagram or on your Twitter, like fuck bitches get money, or like family over everything, or like RIP so and so, like how some people have, or like me who I just have my life is a movie, so I make sure the soundtrack popping. Like I can't put that on my Tinder or like on my Bumble account. Like I don't have Tinder. So if you see somebody that is me on Tinder, it is not me. It is not me. And I haven't been on Bumble in a very long time, so it might not be me either.
Man, fuck that shit.
I reconnected with somebody because of MySpace. But yeah,
MySpace.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I reconnected with Player.
Right. All right.
Pimpin'. Yeah.
Pimpin'.
Yeah. I reconnected
right.
with him because of that. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Back in the G.
Yeah. Back in the days. Back in the day when you used to have a profile song, so when somebody clicked on your shit,
they know what
that
it was.
That was just like, ooh, they got that banger on there. It said a lot what song you had on your page. Something that I was watching on Twitter. It's really cute. So I'm part of Haitian Twitter, low key. Not Haitian, but I'm part of Haitian Twitter because a lot of the people that I follow are Haitian, and so a lot of what goes down in Haitian Twitter makes it onto my timeline. Definitely not mad because I love it. But what I find funny was that there was this guy who was saying how he was driving, like he drove like 23 hours to like meet up with, I guess, like this girl. And when I tell you, because I had to get to the bottom of the story, right? I had to find out how this happened. So what he did was, you know how it's like National Girlfriend Day? Yeah. Okay. So like, yeah. There's like, there's a day that's called National Girlfriend Day. And what he did was he was just like, no, too exciting. No, too loud. Like, and he's writing happy. And then he puts happy National Girlfriend's Day. And like, he was just like, I know you're not my girlfriend yet, but I'm practicing for next year. Aww. Listen, my dog drove 23 hours to see his lady. He done made that. He made that come true because I saw the picture of them together.
23 hours?
Yeah.
Play 30 hours by Kanye West, please.
He drove 23 hours to go see her. Like, that's crazy. And I'm pretty sure they met on Twitter and they were just flirting back and forth. And I know because like they do this thing, the driver, the ride and the driver or something like that. It's like this thing. And what girls started doing was like the ride and then the driver, and then like they were putting like the guy that they was trying to get. So she did that too. Listen, I got deep because I thought it was a really cute story. And I was just like, no, it can't be this easy, or it can't be this cute. And it in fact was very cute. I'm sure they had a really great weekend. She was asking where her back was. And if you don't know what that means, her back blown out. I feel it. So, you know.
That's similar to the line that you made for the song.
That's where actually the influence came from. Because
God, you're talking too much. You're exposing too much.
But yeah, so like, you know, a little online dating. I mean, a little online flirting never hurt nobody.
Never, nothing.
Listen, and shooters gonna shoot. And if your shot is like Kobe's, listen, you gonna get in there, homie.
Or sometimes you need to shoot it more than once to get it.
Huh?
Like if it's like Kobe's, sometimes you gotta shoot it more than once. You know, practice.
Yeah, but sometimes no, cause sometimes you know, if you're gonna practice as different people. But if it's the same, like
that's what I'm saying.
I have
Shooters gonna shoot.
This is a part of the episode where I be believing people really don't be listening to. So I'm gonna say this. There's this one guy who is in my DMs, guys. When I tell you that there is high after high after high, and I have not said hello or nothing back.
There's a whole bunch of gray, no blue.
Yeah, and it happens. Like, it's okay. It doesn't make you any less of a person. Anything else. It's just I'm not interested. But when the person that you are shooting your shot to, when they are interested, trust me, you don't get that response. Real quick. Shit gonna go crazy like real quick too, from one day to the next. And listen, I'm speaking from experience. But yeah, so I mean, if you're like, because I always feel like there's some guys who actually, the way that they flirt is by sending a dick picture. Whoa. Yeah, no, some guys that's how they flirt, or they flirt by like being really super sexual with you. And it's kind of like, you don't even know me like that. Like, what the fuck?
Like, fall back, yeah.
Like, fall all the way back, sir. All the way back, sir.
How are you?
Yeah, you don't even know my name. Like,
you don't know mine.
Like, what we really talking about? Actually, I wanted to share this, and this is how I'm gonna close the episode with.
Close it out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure y'all tune in next week where we talk about yo bitch ass.
And this is actually was posted by Damian Lillard. An authentic path may take longer, but the moves and impact are forever legendary. So it might take longer if you're being yourself, but man, it's so much better when you do it authentically your way. So make sure that you stay true to yourself, that you stay kind, Drink your water, mind your business, wear a motherfucking mask, wash your hands and your ass. Also, do not skip the lotion. Listen, I know it's hot outside, but do not skip the lotion part. Like, I don't, we shouldn't be 133 episodes talking about lotion at the end, but I'm just saying, I done seen some ashy ass elbows and there is no excuse. Lotion is not that expensive. It is not that hard to remember to put lotion on. With that being said, guys.
Oh, good.
This is your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airways. And for the 133rd time in a motherfucking row with your bitch ass, we are out of here.
You know what it is.
It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.
Shout out Bonita Project.
Yeah, shout out to the Bonita Project.
We see you.